Did you know that brands spent over $21 billion on influencer marketing in 2023 alone? That's more than the GDP of some countries. Just think about that for a second. Hi everyone, I'm Natalie, and today we're diving into something that we have all experienced in our day to day life: influencer marketing. Whether you're binge watching YouTube or scrolling through Instagram and TikTok, influencers are everywhere. And what's behind all those hashtag sponsored posts and use my code promotions? Today, I'm going to show you how influencer marketing has become a multi billion-dollar industry, why brands are starting to favor smaller influencers, and how the key to success is all about trust and authenticity. Ready? Let's jump in. First up, let's talk about how influencer marketing got so big. It wasn't that long ago that companies relied mainly on traditional advertising, TV commercials, billboards, radio ads, but the world has changed. Social media took over, and suddenly we weren't just watching what celebrities were doing on screen, we were seeing what they were doing at home, in real life, on our feeds. And not just celebrities, regular people too. This shift gave birth to influencer marketing. Brands saw that instead of interrupting your show with an ad, they could have someone you actually follow and trust recommend their products directly in your feed. It's like having a friend suggest that their favorite pair of shoes, but this friend also happens to have 100,000 followers. The numbers back it up. Influencer marketing was worth $1.7 billion in 2016, and now it's projected to reach $21 billion by 2025. Why? Because people trust influencers more than traditional ads. They create relatable, authentic content that connects with the followers on a personal level. And when it comes to brand strategy, that personal connection is key. But there's a catch. Brands can't just pick any influencer. It's not about getting the person with the most followers. It's about finding influencers whose values and brand align with the company. This is how you build an authentic partnership that feels real to the audience. When it feels real, people engage more, click more, and ultimately buy more. That is the magic. Now, let's talk about something super interesting: the shift towards micro and nano influencers. You'd think brands would go after mega influencers, people like Kim Kardashian or Cristiano Ronaldo, who have millions of followers, right? Well, not exactly. In fact, brands are turning to influencers with smaller followings, those with 10,000 to 100,000 followers, known as micro influencers, or even those with fewer than 10, called nano influencers. Why? Because these influencers tend to have something that's more important than sheer numbers: higher engagement rates. Here's the thing: when you follow someone with 10 million followers, how personal does that relationship feel? Not that personal. But when you follow someone with 5,000 or even 10,000 followers, the connection feels much more intimate. You trust their recommendations because they seem more like a real person and not just some distant celebrity. They respond to comments, interact with their community, and seem genuinely interested in what they are sharing. The numbers tell the whole story. While mega influencers have an average engagement rate of around 1.5%, micro influencers can have engagement rates closer to 7%. That is a huge change. It's not just about how many people see your product, it's about how many actually engage with it. Micro and nano influencers are often seen as more credible and authentic, which is exactly what brands are looking for. Of course, there is a downside. Managing a bunch of smaller influencers instead of one can be a logistical challenge, but the payoff? A much more engaged, loyal audience. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the challenges in influencer marketing. The biggest one: authenticity. As influencer marketing grows, so does the skepticism around it. Consumers are getting savvier and smarter. They can spot when a post is just an ad and not a genuine recommendation. We have all seen it, right? An influencer promoting something that feels completely random, like, when did you ever even use that product? When it feels forced, it does not work out. Audiences can tell when an influencer is just in it for the paycheck. If the partnership doesn't make sense, the authenticity gets lost and the whole thing falls flat. In fact, it can actually backfire. Followers feel misled, and the brand's credibility takes a major hit. Another challenge is trust. Influencers are human, and that means they can make mistakes. Sometimes influencers find themselves in scandals or controversies that damage their reputation. If they are closely tied to a brand, that damage can easily spill over onto the brand too. Managing that risk is tricky, but it's something brands have to be aware of. And finally, there's an issue of regulation. In the US, the FTC requires influencers to disclose when they are being paid to promote a product. You've probably seen hashtags like hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored on posts. Well, if influencers or brands don't disclose these partnerships, they can face serious fines. But beyond legal risks, it's about transparency. If a brand tries to hide the fact that an influencer is getting paid, it can destroy trust with the audience. And as we've talked about, trust is everything in this space. So, what does all of this mean? Influencer marketing is clearly a powerful tool, but it's not just about working with the biggest names. The real success lies in building authentic partnerships with influencers who genuinely align with the brand's values and can connect their audience in a meaningful way. Whether you're a brand looking to grow and or an influencer shaping your personal brand, or even a consumer interacting with all of these partnerships, consider the role that authenticity plays. For brands, the key is to collaborate with influencers who represent your message authentically, ensuring that the connection feels real and trustworthy. For influencers, staying true to your audience and being selective about brands you promote is essential for maintaining trust. As influencer marketing continues to evolve, so does the responsibility to keep things transparent and meaningful. So I encourage all of you, whether in marketing or following influencers, to reflect on how authenticity and trust can be prioritized in every interaction. Thank you all for your attention, and let's work together to shape a more authentic future for influencer marketing.